Have you ever witnessed something so incredible and so remarkable that you felt you just could not contain it and that you had to share this with the world? I'm your host, Jay McAllister, and I share that sentiment with you. Now, here's the plan. I am assembling an elite team of individuals who are operating at levels beyond what I thought was humanly possible. These individuals have been working and living amongst us, all the while housing incredible gifts and abilities. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in introducing to you the first real-life superhero. This man is Justin Frick, who is an audio-visual technician by day and superhero by night. This is the home of the heroes. This is SuperHero Unmasked. Hello everyone, Jay McAllister here over at Paragon Tech, and I've got something really exciting today. It has been the result of many months of preparation and planning, and this is SuperHero Unmasked. Now today I have with us our rock star guest and entrepreneur, Justin Frick from AV Chicago, and we're gonna really get into some details here. My hope is that at the end of this, we can all walk away with some tidbits of knowledge that we can take and apply to our own lives, both personally and professionally, to create wealth and value and really to have fun at the end of the day. So Justin, why don't you go ahead and give us a bio on who you are and what led you to being in the space that you're in today?
Well, Jay, thanks first of all for having me on and bringing me on as your first guest. So glad to be here. So I'm Justin Frick, co-owner of a company called AV Chicago. World headquarters right here in Chicago, not just a clever name. So AV Chicago is a live events production company. Our primary focus is to support live events with equipment, personnel, and logistics. So we've done that a number of ways. A lot of our clients are event producers. They are brand agencies, marketing and whatnot. As well as associations and not-for-profits. Institutional clients like universities and hospitals and government institutions. And then of course corporate support for meetings, but a lot of trade shows, conferences, social events, brand rollouts, kind of you name it. So yeah, if you want to tell you a little bit about my background and where I come from, I give you my origin story since we're going with the superhero theme. I come from humble beginnings. I really got into this business and live event production at an early age as a musician in high school, and ultimately ended up dropping out of college to join the rock and roll lifestyle, and toured the country with a rock band in the early 2000s. Had a lot of fun for a little while, but that comes to an end. All of that travel and whatnot. It's tough on a body. And I got to a point where I wanted to sleep in my own bed every night and have a little bit more consistency. So I had basically a place to stay for free in Chicago for a month and $400 cash. And so I packed up and moved here.
By the way, what year are we talking, just for context?
We are in 2003. In 2003, I moved here. Again, Circuit City, if anybody remembers that. Went and bought a fax machine and sent out 40 some odd resumes to the event production directory to live event production companies in Chicago area, and promptly returned it and got my money back because, hey, I had no money. So I got 2 calls back, and one of them was at AV Chicago, where I was ultimately hired. 2 weeks in Chicago, and my first position was a driver technician, driving around and delivering and setting up equipment in a city that I didn't know at all, with a 400-page Chicago atlas, to find my way around. It was quite the education, on the job training.
I'm sure people told you that it's just a grid though, right? So it makes it so easy to navigate.
It's a grid,
Just go east for the lake.
Yeah. Finding the place, not a problem. Finding parking, whole other story. So anyway, School of Hard Knocks there. I've made employee number 3 at the company. Pretty small rental outfit that was primarily providing rental equipment and minimal services for churches, schools, synagogues, some small corporate stuff, but pretty small shop at the time. From my production background, kind of helped to grow the production business at AV Chicago, and worked diligently here for maybe 11 years, 10 and a half years before buying the company with a partner about 6 years ago now.
So one of the things I'd be remiss if I did not point this out. Let's address the elephant in the room with trade shows, corporate events. I mean, these things are obviously live events, which, post or pre-2020, they were prevalent. And, these are things that I looked forward to. In 2020, I haven't seen a single one of those type of events take place in a live fashion. So how has that affected your current business or has it?
In a word, gutted. Our industry has been gutted. There are no live events. That we've participated in 2 live events that I was, to be honest, almost ashamed to be a part of because they just felt uncomfortable and not right because of safety reasons. It's a really tough position that those of us in the live events and entertainment and travel world are in. It's the same thing I feel for our brethren in hospitality and restaurants and whatnot, and understanding that we all have to make a living, but people have to eat. People don't have to meet. So that's been a real problem for our industry. We were some of the first out, and we're going to be some of the last back, just because of the let's call it the density of attendees in the spaces that we need to work in. Part of the success of live events is all about connecting, being close to people, seeing reactions, shaking hands, spending one-on-one time and whatnot. And this is just something that we're still a long way from safely doing in mass at this point.
What did this do to your company from a standpoint of, with your clients? Were you able to maintain a little bit internally, or?
We were a company of about 40 full-time employees, serving around 900 to 1,000 events, projects a year, mostly here in Chicago and some throughout the country. And we very rapidly, in March, started seeing the writing on the wall. And what I mean very rapidly, we deteriorated in hours to days from what we were seeing happening based on cancellations at our company with our peers and what we're seeing throughout the industry. March 11th, I had 40 employees. March 13th, I had 30 employees. A week later, we're down to 20. It went very rapidly, and we've been very fortunate with our ability to adapt to the virtual world, but we're doing so with less than a fifth of the staff that we had originally, and to the tune of less than a quarter of the revenue previously.
But I think for your case, I mean, you're obviously here today. You're still operating. Well, let me make sure. Let me check. You're still operating today, right?
We're still
Okay, so
you're still, yeah, we're still on, guys. We're still
okay,
here.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. I just want to make sure.
No.
With you being here today and still operating, and you have a smile on your face, I noticed, and you're wearing nice, freshly clean clothes that are pressed and ironed, and it looks like you're in a house.
My wife, Katie, is a wonderful wife. Takes such good care of me and keeps my clothing clean.
I was going to say, and it does look like you're in a house there, unless that's the best Zoom digital backdrop I've ever seen before. I know you do run an AV company, so this could all be green screen magic.
Yeah, in an alley somewhere shivering. No,
Exactly.
I mean, okay, so to answer your first question there, I gotta say, one of the best parts about all of this was that while I had to watch this business that I've been building and dedicated my life to, and ultimately put my everything into when buying the company, um, to watch that just fall off so rapidly over something I had zero control over. I had to scale down my business, and I was able to do it without a feeling of sacrificed pride.
Okay.
Whereas, if as a business owner, you are your business. You hang your hat and your heart on the success of your business because your business is an extension of you. When you
Sure.
put everything into your business's successes and failures are your personal successes and failures. And to have such a rapid decline in any other situation would have been horribly, horribly detrimental to your personal and physical health.
So, can you clue us in on? I mean, obviously, things were not going to be able to exist in perpetuity the way they were by operating exactly how you were before. So, what
Mhm.
changes have you made in order to exist and adapt and to really to provide value in this current world that we live
I mean, that was the most painful thing, was having to tell all of these people that, we can't feed you. We get, it's taking food off the plates, can't pay rent, that's tough. And of course we couldn't maintain at the same level. That's not an option. But pivot, everybody's favorite
in?
quarantine word. We very much have a strong meat and potatoes, get the message across kind of oriented business. And that's left us to be pretty scalable. So when all of this started, we immediately began looking for solutions to produce work. What can we do? How can we make money? How can we stay busy? How can we keep our minds busy? And I gotta say, within hours of making the announcement to our staff about the sad state of our industry and the what we needed to do to survive in short term, I followed that all staff meeting with a meeting of another associate at a venue to set up a virtual event studio. Knowing obviously we weren't going to have nearly the level of business, but we needed some business.
Sure.
And we needed something to stay relevant for our clients, for our checkbook, for the long haul. And we were right at it right away, ready to stay relevant, ready to stay connected, ready to, what we're now doing is going to be part of our long-term plan. I didn't think this initially. The first thought was, all right, let's see what we can do to get through this.
Hmm.
But as I mentioned before, we're a live event production company. Now we're doing video recording and content creation services. We're doing custom event websites. Obviously, we're doing the virtual with remote callers and all of this stuff. I see this as something that is going to remain as part of our business. And I told my business partner shortly into this, who might have been a little bit more conservative than I in terms of we'll get back. It's just going to be back normal in a year, whatever. Which is not the wrong way to look at it. That's just one way of looking at it. And I looked at this and said, no, what we're doing right now is we are breadboarding, we are trying out, and we are developing a new department
Hmm.
that will live forever within this company. And in the end, I feel like we're going to end up stronger for it
Hmm.
because we're going to have more skill sets and we're going to have more offerings for our customers when it makes sense.
Wow. Wow. I mean, what you're describing is the ability to be dynamic to see obstacles out there and to automatically, it sounds like you really never had a time, you didn't give yourself time to just sit and sulk and feel bad for yourself. It seems like it was really just, how do we position ourselves to be better, stronger for our clients, for our people, and quite frankly, for your own mental health and sanity.
There have been a lot of hard days. I mean, I can't deny this. There have been a lot of hard days, and I feel like the whole working from home world that we all live in. That's tough to do in our environment for a lot of reasons, because we can't produce great shows over Zoom all the time like this. We have studio work that needs to be done. We have control rooms that need a lot of interactivity. A lot of issues with doing work over the internet, we are all well aware of at this point. It's really tough to consistently stay in a good mindset when your world is constantly, upended by the news of today, by the closed-in lives that we're living with our families, and the lack of compartmental separation between our work life and our home life. It's a hard thing. We all know this. We're all experiencing this, and everything kind of comes together, right, into one homogenous blurs day.
I totally agree.
Yeah. So it's the weekend effect. You have to have time away. It's a vacation. Whatever it is, you need to compartmentalize your time. You need to transition from stages and steps, because as much as we all want to believe in I'm available all the time, man, anybody who's ever gone on a vacation and not answer their cell phone and not put on an out of office email has just wasted a vacation. You've been there. If you've done it, you've been there. Don't do it again. For me, I think that I like to look at it like this. I like to look ahead and measure my progress in baby steps. Like in What About Bob, if you remember that old movie. Baby steps, a little bit, like realize it's a little bit every day. But look in your rear view. Keep your rear view and look far. Future look close. Rear look far. For your personal health, that is. Realize how far you've come. Realize what you have endured. Realize what you've learned through all of this and how you have accomplished all of these things. Because 8 months ago, you wouldn't have seen today. You can't see today. In this much indecision that we're living in right now, and this much so much in the air, you can't try to look too far. We all want great big goal plans. I miss that. Before all of this, I was making my retirement plans. I'm going to be 40 in May, and I was already tracking the rest of my damn career and my kids who are 2.5 and 5 years old. I had the next 15 years planned. That's gone. I've gotten past that. You can't do that anymore. You can't do that right now, that's for sure. So I'm just excited to have 6-month plans, and be happy for that. And look back 6 months and who you were 6 months ago, where you were 6 months ago, and just be happy for all that you've done.
Wow. I mean, what a way to end that. It really seems like, you're really looking to, the key to success for you is being able to benchmark your past accomplishments and not to lose the context of how far you've moved forward from where you were, because you can easily lose that when you're so focused on these far-reaching goals that, to be honest, none of us know whether we'll be here tomorrow to be able to put that goal, that plan into place to reach that goal. But what can we do today in order to get us a little bit closer and just to let the rest take care of itself?
No matter what happens, things are changing. And I had this conversation with a dear friend last night, who asked me, in this current state of affairs with our political unrest and the you know the obviously COVID and everything that's happening in how our society has changed. I said, do you think it'll ever go back? I said, no, it will never go back. Nothing ever goes back. We never went back after 9/11. We never went back after, anything that's ever happened. You can't make anything what it was again. It's never going to be the same again. There's a great saying that's older than all of us. You can never go home again. It's true.
Ooh, yeah.
And you're wise to remember that, even though as you age and you begin to have more and more nostalgia for the past or how things were, it was really great to be 20 years old. But I can never be 20 years old again, so I better accept that fact and move on with the new world and find the best place to plug in myself and my business in the new world. Because if you do not continue to adapt, we're getting very waxing here, but you can't just expect to start a business or be a person and then be that person or that business for your entire lifetime. This world moves way too fast for any of us to think that we can pick one thing and do it forever. Doesn't happen.
Totally.
So you're wise to just get rid of that mentality and get on with making the most of every new day.
Oh, that's great. Justin, it's been great to have you on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
You dropped a ton of tidbits and informations and pieces of advice that I think people will be able to really latch onto and maybe even do some great things and reinvigorate their businesses, turn things around, or just to keep their mental sanity on the personal side. So thank you. I really appreciate having you. And we're going to have to bring you back here again for round 2.
Thank you, Jay. I'll be happy to.